Now at 5 a.m., WKYT this morning, another terrifying tragedy in Orlando, this time for a family of 5 whose 2-year-old has been dragged into a lagoon by an alligator at a Disney resort.
Investigators are looking into the Orlando shooter's wife, who could potentially face charges. We'll tell you why coming up.
And closing arguments expected in the trial of a high-profile Lexington murder case today. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome into you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. And Kentucky Mornings start right here on WKYT. We're glad you're along with us today. We'll be watching for a good possibility of some stronger storms today.
And it sounds like, Micah, that could mean potential muggies out there.
Yeah, you're going to have the muggies. There's no doubt about that. But also some damaging winds being the main player in this forecast later on today. Defender Radar Network, there is your view across the region. Nothing really going on early this morning. But 68, 72, 70, I mean, it's all around the map. Once we hit the afternoon, we'll be at 88 degrees. Those strong storms are the focus of our forecast with that severe weather threat in store. Now, it's not widespread severe weather. However, still a few isolated severe cells will be making their way through our region later on today. I'm going to go over the timing on that coming up in a few minutes.
We'll see you then. Thank you. New this morning, another tragedy in Orlando. Authorities are searching for a 2-year-old boy who was dragged into the water by an alligator near a Disney resort.
Just a shocking situation. The Orange County Sheriff says the family of 5 from Nebraska was on vacation and wading in the lake last night when the attack happened. The father tried to save his son but was unsuccessful. More than 50 officers are now looking for the boy. The sheriff says there have been no other recent reports of similar alligator attacks at that lake. We'll continue our coverage of this story throughout the morning. Also in Orlando, the investigation into the Pulse nightclub shooting rampage continues. Investigators tell CBS News that shooter Omar Mateen went to work the day of the shooting before going on his rampage. Kenneth Craig has the latest on the investigation from Orlando.
Ms. Salmon, did you know your husband was going to do this?
Investigators are turning their attention to this woman, Noor Salman. She was married to Omar Mateen, the gunman who went on a shooting rampage inside the Pulse nightclub in Orlando.
Oh my God, people are getting shot.
Police say Salman told them that she and Mateen had gone to the Gate nightclub before. She also said she tried to convince him not to go through with the attack.
I didn't notice anything. She is a very good girl, very honest, sincere person.
As investigators dig into Mateen's past, patrons also say they've seen him at Pulse before.
He used to come in the bar about on the weekend sometimes.
Not only did Mateen call 911, but sources tell CBS News he also made a Facebook post pledging his allegiance to ISIS, all while randomly shooting into the crowd.
He looked at me and it just said, "Take care of me. Please don't leave me." You knew I was going to take care of him. You knew if you said something bad about him, I was going to be the one that was going to take up for him, because he was more than just a friend. He was like a brother.
Demetrius Nollings survived, but his friend Eddie Justice, a 30-year-old tax accountant, was one of the 49 people who didn't make it out alive. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Orlando.
Well, the city of Orlando is expected to announce the opening of a family assistance center to help the victims later on today.
The University of Kentucky will be holding a vigil today to honor the victims who died in the Orlando shooting. Michelle Chamberlain is at our alert desk with some details on that. Michelle?
The vigil, We Are UK, We Are Orlando, is today at noon. The event, hosted by Violence Intervention and Prevention, is a memorial to honor the lives lost in the mass shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando. The event organizers say it's time for the people to come together as a community to support one another and honor the lives lost in, by quote, unimaginable hate and terrorism. The organizers say there's been great response to the memorial, and the location has been changed to allow for more people to attend. Now, they'll now meet in the Lexmark room in the main building at UK. The vigil is today at noon, and the public is welcome to attend. Bill?
Michelle, thank you. In Rowan County, it was a time to come together to honor the victims. Last night, people in Moorhead held a vigil for the 49 people killed in Orlando. But organizers of the vigil also wanted to reach out to the LGBT community in Rowan County.
We want people to know that even in a small community, even in a rural community, there are people who will take a stand against the hatred, a stand against the violence, and stand with them and accept all of who they are.
Some of the people who were there also led protests outside the Rowan County Courthouse last summer when Clerk Kim Davis refused to issue marriage licenses. They say it is important to again stand united with the LGBT community against the violence in Orlando. Now, we have much more coverage of the Orlando nightclub attack. We'll be updating you here during our newscast. Also, check WKYT.com and you'll find updates on the WKYT News app.
Well, Lexington Speedway was broken into again overnight, but this time there was a little bit of a different outcome.
There's been a twist in this. Police have arrested the suspect after a short chase, and that's just the beginning of the investigation, it turns out. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live at police headquarters to explain.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. That's right. The investigation by Lexington police started around 2:30 this morning, a time when the speedway at Tate's Creek in Mount Tabor is closed. Police say the alarm at the business went off after the suspect smashed out glass of the front door. They say he took some cigarette cartons, all while caught on camera. Then right after getting to the scene, police spotted a car nearby they believed to be involved. Officers were able to stop that car on New Circle near Woodhill Drive. However, the suspect then ran off, leading police on a short foot chase. Once officers caught up to him, he was arrested. Now, while his name has not been released, police do tell us he is a suspect in burglaries in several other counties. Live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, thank you, Hillary. Closing arguments in a high-profile Lexington murder case will begin this morning. Police charge Mark Taylor with murder and kidnapping in the 2013 death of Alex Johnson. Police say they found Johnson's body stuffed in a barrel in the Kentucky River. Yesterday, Taylor took the stand to defend himself. He blamed Timothy Ballard, saying that he tried to stop Ballard from beating Johnson. He said he even tried to revive Johnson.
I went back around to the driver's side and pulled Alex out, laid him long ways on the ground, tried to give him chest compressions. He was not responsive.
Well, Taylor also testified that he used drugs in his friend's company to take his mind off what happened in the days following Johnson's death. Timothy Ballard took a plea deal before the trial and agreed to testify against Taylor. Last week, he said that Taylor beat Johnson to death and helped dump the body. He helped dump the body, rather. Ballard has not been sentenced yet.
New on WKYT this morning, police in Mason County have arrested a man on charges related to child pornography. State police charged Brandon Morin with 4 counts of distributing child porn. The 25-year-old was arrested at his home in Maysville. A Central Kentucky chapter of the National Association for Black Veterans honored a couple of World War II veterans for Flag Day. Curry Taylor will turn 90 years old in a couple of weeks, and Leonard Hale just turned 87. During World War II, Taylor served in the Navy, and Hale served in the Army and Navy. We talked to both men about their time serving our country.
I was 18 years old, was senior in high school when I got drafted. So everything I saw was new to me. I had not experienced anything like that before.
It teaches you that you have to follow orders, and then you demand respect.
Hale and Curry are the oldest members of the local NAB Vets chapter, and they learned tough lessons at a very young age that have obviously carried them well through life.
Well, we thank them for their service.
We do. Our time this morning is 5:08, and WKYT this morning just getting started here on your Wednesday.
T-Rex is known for having little arms, but one T-Rex managed to climb like a ninja nonetheless. We'll have more on that story. Give us your biggest impression of a T-Rex, Micah.
We'll have that shortly. The first U.S. credit card intended for use in Cuba will become available today, and Vermont is sweet on maple syrup. We'll have the latest money stories and more coming up this morning.
Do the T-Rex.
No, I'm not touching that one. We're talking about storms for today, strong, potentially severe storms. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to show you the timing on that as they arrive, coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We see nothing out there early this morning, so it's pretty calm, it's pretty quiet as you're walking out the door. But just know this, storms will start popping up later on this afternoon off into the evening. I can't rule out a small chance of rain during the morning hours either, but it's really that afternoon and evening we really are going to be watching out for, anywhere from, I would say, 1 or 2 p.m. to about 8 or 9 p.m. So, yeah, it's going to go all afternoon and off into the evening hours. It should fade away as we head off into the night, though, so there's some good news. Won't really have to worry about that into the nighttime hours as we head to bed. But here's the deal. Here's the front right through here. Now the way this is going to work is this front, it's a stationary front, not moving all that much, but we'll start to see it slowly start to move here in the next few hours to the north. And then that's when it opens the door for a lot of this heating going on, and that's when the storms rush on in here. Frankfurt is 70 degrees right now. It is humid early this morning, and when you wake up at 71 degrees there in Jackson, you know something's wrong because it's not typically that warm during the morning hours, coming in the upper 60s there in Laurel County. Now we go through your afternoon off into the evening. Like I said, anywhere from 2 p.m. to about 9 p.m. That is your best bet for severe weather. Now remember, this is no widespread severe weather, but a couple of isolated severe cells will be a possibility in the forecast, with damaging winds being our main player. Also heavy downpours. Yesterday in Louisville, they picked up close to 2 inches of rain with just a couple of rumbles of thunder. There's a lot of moisture out there, so anything that comes over you will give you the opportunity to actually pick up good amounts of rain. So the severe threat here is across much of our viewing area. The best chance for severe weather today, central, north, western zones. That's the best chance. It's not the only chance, because everybody actually has the opportunity to see at least an isolated severe cell. But nonetheless, if you do not pick up severe weather, you're still going to be talking about strong storms. So either way, just look out for some really heavy downpours, a lot of lightning within these as they pass on through. Yesterday was meant more of just rainmakers. Today is going to be rainmakers and the possibility, guys, is some damaging winds tomorrow. A couple of rumbles of thunder as that front passes through. And before the front gets here, later on that evening and night, it's 90 degrees tomorrow. So it's going to be very steamy, and then that pushes on out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of events. Got Father's Day. Awesome weather for it. Looks really good.
Yeah, as long as the weekend's okay, it's fine.
Good payoff after what we're going to be dealing with, it sounds like, today and tonight. Thank you, Micah. You wouldn't want to be caught running from this nimble dinosaur.
If Jurassic Park taught us anything, it's that dinosaurs are pretty good jumpers, but Jurassic Park dinosaurs don't have anything on this ninja of a dinosaur. Take a look at these clips from American Ninja Warrior. This guy runs the obstacle course in a giant, goofy T-Rex costume. Videos of him just blowing up on social media, and he did what can only be described as a dynamite job.
He did. Well, that requires some
I guess that's the only
athleticism to do all that.
Yes,
right?
the only T-Rex we're going to be seeing here on WKYT this morning, since Micah won't do his famous impression.
Well, don't blame him.
He's probably like, what are you talking about?
He's got a severe weather day going over there, so we got to be on task today, I guess. 5:15 our time on WKYT this morning. We have a lot more news coming right up for you.
And we've got to look at your money.
Why retirement may be a struggle for some couples and sweet success for one U.S. state. I'm Karina Mitchell with those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back in. 5:19 our time on WKYT. And starting today, the first U.S. credit card intended for use in Cuba is going to become available. There's a new survey that finds most Americans have saved only about $5,000 for their retirement.
And Vermont is sweet on maple syrup. Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Anxious investors will wait to hear later today if the Fed is likely to consider hiking interest rates. Yesterday, the Dow fell 57 points while the Nasdaq dropped nearly 5. Starting today, the first U.S. credit card intended for use in Cuba will become available. Florida-based Stonegate Bank says its MasterCard will allow U.S. travelers to charge purchases made at state-run businesses, as well as a few private ones, including swanky eateries. Cuba says it will exempt the card from a current 10% penalty on dollar transactions. And a new survey finds that most Americans have saved only about $5,000 for retirement. Even for couples in their late 50s or in their 60s, the average amount saved in a retirement account is $17,000. And the survey finds 43% of working-age couples have no retirement funds at all. And Vermont is sweet on maple syrup. The state produced a record 1.9 million gallons of the syrup this year. That's up from 1.4 million last year. The state is the nation's largest producer of the product. New York was second, producing about 700,000 gallons. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
Well, Americans appear to be more charitable than ever.
Giving hearts, it turns out. A new report reveals that Americans donated a record-breaking $373.3 billion to charity last year. That is 4% more than the previous record that was set in 2014. The report looked at the charitable actions of individuals, estates, foundations, and companies. So why the record amount of giving? The report is pointing to the recovering economy and stabilizing household finances as factors. And as for who is receiving the contributions, religious organizations lead the way, taking in almost $120 billion last year. Charities promoting education stand second at more than $57 billion. Very interesting.
Well, giving's always good. Just hopefully more people will be saving for their retirement as well.
Right.
We were a little surprised.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, that folks have that low amount of savings. So that's a trend that we'll watch. 5:21 is our time now on WKYT on your Wednesday morning.
Sports is up next.
Kentucky introduces its new head baseball coach, and could Tyler Ulis be dealing with an injury 1 week before the NBA draft? That's next in sports.
No problems out there early this morning as you're stepping out the door. One thing you need to watch out for is this area back towards southern Indiana, because that's the only real chance that I see before noontime of actually sparking up any showers or any rumbles of thunder into our viewing area. So now through noon is a small chance of rain, and then we hit the afternoon off into the evening. You get the heating of the day. Boom, you'll spark up some of those showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures 72 degrees right now in Richmond. It's not a great feel. And London coming in at 69 degrees, so it really doesn't matter where you are. It is humid. It is pretty warm outside early this morning, and we drive off into the afternoon. We're at 88 degrees with those strong storms in the forecast. Anywhere from 2 p.m. to about 9 p.m. is when I expect those strong, potentially a couple of isolated severe cells to move on in, which we'll talk more about that coming up. First, let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Kentucky has its new head baseball coach just a day after Nick Mingione was announced as Gary Henderson's successor. He was formally introduced last night on campus. Mingione has spent the past 8 seasons as an assistant on John Cohen's staff in Mississippi State. Prior to his time in Starkville, he spent 2 seasons at UK as an assistant in 2006 and 2007. UK won 33 SEC games in those 2 seasons, including an SEC championship in 2006. And that's something that he believes UK can do again.
I've been a part of a championship here. We've done it before, and the goal is to do it again. So people may say the job's tough. I'm going to say any job in the Southeastern Conference is tough, and every job has its challenges, right? But this is a place that I wanted to be at because I believe in my heart we can win here and we're going to win here. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't have never come. As much as I respect Mitch and everything we got going on here, if I didn't feel like we could win, I wouldn't take that job.
Mingione signs a 5-year deal averaging $475,000 per year through 2021. During last night's press conference, Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart talked about the plans for a new $45 million baseball stadium that would replace Cliff Hagan Stadium. Barnhart said that they are putting the finishing touches on the design, and now they're just awaiting approval from the Board of Trustees. The new stadium would be built off Alumni Drive near the current softball and soccer complex.
It gets us an athletics village on the outside on the perimeter of campus that has about 12,000 cars that drives by it every day, which is very helpful to us, especially for the sports that compete outdoors. It gives us a chance to have some parking availability that's a little tougher for us in the internal part of campus, and it frees some things up for everyone else. So that's the goal.
With the June 23rd NBA draft quickly approaching, Tyler Ulis may be dealing with a significant hip issue. That according to a report by BasketballInsiders.com. The report says that Ulis could require surgery down the line and, of course, could raise some medical flags to potential NBA suitors. Ulis is currently projected as a mid to late first-round pick. He is scheduled to work out for his hometown Chicago Bulls later today. That'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great day.